Welcome to the Youth Pastors Are Pastors Too podcast, recorded in Central Texas, broadcasting to the world. Join your hosts and their weekly guests for insight, advice, guidance, and ideas to help your ministry flourish and help you take care of yourself. Now, with a combined 35 years of ministry experience, your hosts, Jacob Taylor and Jeremy Helms.
Hey, we're
What's
back.
up?
It's almost the end of summer, and we tried to do episodes, but man, summer's been rough this year. Like busy, not in a bad way, but just
No.
And you can probably hear in my voice, I'm a little under the weather. Like, I think a combination between last week at camp and then this week. We don't have grass at our new house yet. And so my dogs are like bringing in a pound of dirt every day, and it's like dusty in my house, and just, a lot of effect. I haven't slept much in the last 3 weeks, because I moved and then we went to camp, and the adult things, and I think it's catching up to me. So maybe my voice sounds better today on this episode, but
no, it sounds worse.
Well, we have our guest back for the summer, our intern. She has graciously joined us again.
She's like, I was listening to our intro, right? And our weekly guest, I'm sitting here thinking, well, she's kind of like our permanent weekly guest for the summer, at least, right?
Till the end of August, then I'm going to fire her publicly in front of everybody.
Oh, in front of the church?
Yeah, call her up on stage and be like Donald Trump on the
TV show?
The Apprentice, be like, "You're fired."
I can't wait.
Good.
I'm never coming back.
Well,
that's not. That's
Grace,
not,
how are you feeling, Grace?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Camp took a lot out of me, but it was still super fun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to do it next year. But this year just seemed like even more exhausting than last year.
and we'll get into that, but
I don't know.
This year was rough. Usually you take a day or two and you're back to normal, but this year,
I'm still not recovered.
no. We did Nerf Force last night, and about halfway through, I was like, "Oh, I'm not making it through this. Like, I'm tired." So,
Yeah.
what about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired too.
Well, you went on vacation right after you got back from camp, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any sympathy for you.
Me
We
either.
did. We left Sunday right after church, and we drove to Galveston, and so we spent 3 nights in Galveston. But we hustled back, and we knocked out midweek last night. And man, we had 38 kids last night. We had a blast.
I saw you blew up those bouncy ball things.
So I was told to call them bubbles because they thought it might be inappropriate for me to call them balls, but I don't know what else to call them.
Well, we had Nerf War last night, and the bullets for my gun are round blue balls.
Yeah.
And I kept
Little-
saying, "Where are the blue balls?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have to change the rating now on our show.
MA.
It's no longer kid friendly.
Hey, a quick thing. Grace did label the soundboard.
Where's the applause? Oh, great.
Cheering.
Cheering.
Oh, no.
This is actually the first time I've looked at it since she's done it.
I couldn't spell applause, so I put cheering.
APPLU.
ALU.
Yeah, that's what. Well, August is coming, and we're going to hit the ground running again well, we do promotion at the end of August and then September. So Here comes the fall, right?
Yeah. But, when the fall comes around here, we kind of slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Mainly because you're competing with like football and volleyball and
Basketball.
band.
Well, no, not basketball.
Basketball is typically like December, but like all the band stuff happens, all the sports like kicks up real fast. So I don't typically plan anything during the fall. I mean, we'll have some get-togethers and stuff, but nothing big. And because we go so hard for 3 months during the summer, it's like our time to like slow down. And plus, I have a baby that's due in the fall, so things may change.
Not November.
October.
It's October.
You didn't forget, did you?
He did.
I was telling people November.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Amanda wouldn't like that, like generally speaking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're totally right. And I know, like, I look at the calendar and I go, it's gonna be cooler. We can go do some stuff. Time change happens and it gets a little cooler, and I like doing stuff outside in the nighttime, like nighttime hide and go seek or capture the flag. A little cooler, not 105 degrees, right?
Well, we're planning a paintball trip in the end of August.
Well, ours is the 16th. We're going to do paintball 16th.
Ours is the 9th. Where are you going?
TDB.
Oh,
to
be
TBD.
Oh.
TBD. I was like, we looked at all the places yesterday, and I was like, I never heard of that
I've
place.
never heard of that place. Yeah.
You never been to TBD? That's to be determined, folks.
Well, we found a good deal yesterday if you want to. But we're going on the 9th, August 9th.
Well, either way, we can talk offline about where you're going, when you're going, all that good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's our back to, like, the end of summer thing that we're doing is paintball. Because they all go back on the 12th. But we still have, like, we're going to separate, like, we're going to take the high schoolers out just to do something. And then the next week we're going to take the middle school out.
We're doing like a junior high, our promotion junior high party, something on the 23rd, and then they'll join us on the whatever day that is. Yeah,
we only have maybe 3 promoting up this year.
Oh my gosh, we have 10.
See, last year we had a lot.
Yeah,
and next year we'll have close to 15.
Yeah,
I'm not ready for that group, but.
It definitely this promotion is always fun. It changes your group a little bit, makes it a little bit younger, right? And then you gotta get them all acclimated, bring them into the fold, right?
Yeah, I put them on stage last year and made them answer all the questions that the other students had.
Yeah,
it was fun. But
that sounds fun.
They asked me not yesterday, but the day before in staff meeting what I was going to do, and I was like, the same thing. And they were like, ooh, some of these kids may not like that. I'm like, you're in youth ministry now. You're going to have to toughen up a little bit. And it really gets them like they have to be part of it. So it like breaks the ice so they're not so nervous.
That I don't know if that's like a good segue into camp stuff, but man, I took 2 students, probably 3 that were the super quiet, kind of anxious, and they came back from camp, just different kids. And I probably could say that even about my own son. Like Logan came back from camp completely changed. Like he was like a grown little man. I mean, he turns 13 on August 2nd, but I mean, like he's so fun to be around. I mean, he was before, but now he's just like this spunky little kid. I mean, it's like camp was, I think, life-changing on so many levels for so many of the students and even adults, right?
Well, maybe for you, I was ready for him to leave camp.
Me too.
Get out of here. Oh, you were ready to leave camp, or you were ready for Logan to leave
I was
camp?
ready for Logan to leave camp.
Oh, get out of here.
Me too.
He was
He was trying to steal Rebecca from y'all.
Yes. And he was being super annoying with Amanda.
No,
And was back talking Amanda.
no, he was not.
And he was back talking me. And I was
No.
like, dude, like,
He was comfortable. He was comfortable around y'all.
Well, yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's fine, but
Well,
y'all,
there's a line. There's a line.
your
Yes,
dorm
there's a
was
line,
too
obviously.
much to handle by the end of the week.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
But we did get
I
a
hear
case of
you.
water.
You did get a case of water. Yeah. You do you want to tell that story from your perspective or my perspective? Because I think that's worth sharing.
I think it, yeah.
I mean, it's more funny for me, but
So we both went to the same camp, same week. You know, last year Jeremy and his kids came with us, with my church. But this year he took his own church, so he had his own dorm and all this stuff, and they were right next door to where we were. We actually changed the name to our dorm to the Tabernacle, so I'm gonna refer it to that. So, it was it was a terrible morning, anyways, because Grace and I had to take a girl to the ER in the middle of the night. So,
lack of sleep.
and that's the only reason like I'm struggling now is that we probably got like an hour or two sleep that night, and then when you're at camp, it's like you don't have a choice of like trying to catch up. So,
Well, and the beds, frankly, they're terrible.
they're like toddler mattresses, and it's just terrible.
I think I might bring my own mattress pad next year.
I used to, but
That's a lot of work too.
yeah. But so we just got in, and I think I finally fell asleep about 5:30, and the lights come on at 7. But instead of getting out of bed, Brennan, what a saint he was, decided to go to the sponsor meeting for me. And then I'm laying in, like I'm sleeping, and then, man, we had this student, Jonathan. He's like the nicest kid in the world. I'm laying in bed. I'm still like wearing the clothes I went to the ER in. And I'm like trying to motivate myself to get out of bed. And he's like, "You want me to bring you breakfast in bed?" I'm like, "No, Jonathan, I'll get out. I'll get up." So I get up, and I'm like, I brush my teeth, and I tell this story a lot, but it's like a weird, like, I brush my teeth instead of going to the bathroom first. You know, like when you wake up early and you have to like pee, your first thing is to pee, but instead I went and brushed my teeth first. So I brush my teeth, then I go pee. And then another student comes in, and and we didn't bother the student because he was eating breakfast, so it's fine. But he would bring his breakfast back to the dorm, and he's like singing and doing his thing, and he goes into the bathroom next to me, and he's still singing, and he comes out, and I walk out, and it's like, boom, this terrible smell. So for an hour, I'm like, man, this kid really blew it up in there. And it just got worse and worse. So bad when Brennan showed up, he's like, "Oh, I'm calling maintenance." So he goes up to the office, fills out a maintenance report. And they come in, and for all morning, I mean, 4 different guys come in, and they're checking every drain, they're checking every toilet, the shower, they're checking the dorms around us to make sure that like nothing happened next door. Just as
they were being some thorough maintenance guys. I mean,
for several
that's
hours.
That's quality right there.
Yeah.
That's quality.
Shout out to Pineywood's maintenance staff. They were on it. And so we all go do our rec stuff. The guys, all we did was fish and all this other stuff. And the girls did that. Well, I don't know what the girls did, but
Chase boys. That's all they did.
Well, that's a different subject.
Mm-hmm.
So we go and do our thing. Like when we come back, and it's still bad. We go to lunch. And after lunch, we all come back to the dorm in Dawson or in Lotion.
The real Slim Shady.
Yes. I'm gonna call him Dawson. I don't want to call him Lotion. No one will get that joke. He goes to the bathroom after lunch, and he's like, "What is that?" And he finds this little silver bag. It was a stink bomb that was behind the toilet that no one found until that time, and I instantly knew who it was because I don't trust your kids. And so we find the bag, and then
I walk up about the time he finds the bag, right?
yeah, and I was I'm working on an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep, so I wasn't in the mood. I found the bag, and we take it outside, and what's the worst is that this thing had liquid in it, and it just poured out everywhere. And what's the gross part about it? Sam, your brother, was like, "You give me $10, I'll lick it."
Shut up.
He did.
He did not say that.
Yes, he did. He did. And I was like, okay. And he's like, let me smell it first. And he smells it, but it doesn't smell. So he's like, I was like, dude, I'm not paying you money to just lick something like that. That doesn't stink. So he didn't end up doing it, but that was his first thing. He's like, $10, I'll lick it.
Holy moly, that kid.
But then like your kids were like hanging out the door, like, and I was like, oh yeah, it was them. And so I go in that dorm, and they're all lying to me, telling me it wasn't them. But the odd thing is that one of your students had the exact same package laying in his bed. And I was like, dude, that's like evidence that you did it. And so I'm like, all right, it's on. And so I went back to our dorm, and we made up this plan to get you back. And it was going to be brutal. Like these guys, they were committed. Like
They were talking about it to us, and all the girls were like, "That's disgusting. That's so mean." I, on the other hand, was like, "I'm all for it. Go for it."
Did you know we named it? We named it.
You told me you told me the plan. I don't think we should discuss.
I'm not going to
the plan.
discuss the plan, but the name of it was Operation Elephant Drop.
Oh, okay. You guys come up with a name too.
And so for all afternoon, I said, you know what to do. You take care of yourselves. I mean, and by the time, and then that's when I came up with the plan. Well, if you get us a case of water, we'll squash this. And so we talked about it, and I went back to our dorm and said, hey, you still stay locked and loaded, because if they don't produce by sundown, we're going. Operation is in plan. And poor guys, dude, like Sam, he was like in pain because he
it was brewing.
He was ready to go,
Holy
but
moly.
he was committed. And
Get out of here.
I really wish one of the guys, like, even after you got the case of water, I wish one of them would still have gone in.
Yeah. And we didn't want, so they were coming up all these plans, and I was like, we don't want to make the camp staff work harder than they already do.
Yeah.
And we don't want to have to pay for something that we break. So
that's exactly right.
So that's where we came up with Operation Elephant Drop. And luckily you came through. We got a case of water. And, I never seen so much relief in people's faces.
From my perspective, you come out of that dorm holding that packet, and I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, it was
literally no idea. Now I quickly found out. I really did.
And Landon promised on his great grandmother that he had nothing to do with it.
He did.
And
he was really wanted to see that through. And then when you told me that maintenance came like 3 or 4 times, I just thought, man, that was well done.
How did they get it in y'all's dorm?
Nobody was in there but me, and I was
like that morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he snuck it in there.
And you didn't see anybody walk in?
No.
He said that
I had to be.
He went in. Landon said he went in, and there was nobody in there. Now, granted, you may have been asleep, and maybe you weren't in there, but either way, he was like, "Nobody's in there, Dad." So he said he just snuck in and put it behind the toilet, and he goes, "I got it on my hand, and I had to wash my hand off like 14 times."
He told me when he said it that it blew up in his face.
Yeah.
So
karma.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I got all over my face and stuff. And I was like, well, you should have done it. But it was.
Where do you get those? Like, you order them off of Amazon or what?
I have no idea.
See, I would have never known if that kid didn't have another one like identical to what we found. So, but I knew that your kids would have done something. Like they were probably planning that before they even left.
Maybe. I do know this. Listen, Logan loves raising canes. And so some of the kids on the bus ride, we met at Chick-fil-A in Huntsville.
Yeah.
Their church and our church, we kind of planned it out where we were going to meet at Chick-fil-A in Huntsville. Well, next to Chick-fil-A is Raising Canes, and Logan loves Raising Canes. And so some of the students were like, "We should go to Raising Canes." And I was like, "No, we're going to Chick-fil-A. It's God's chicken, you know." And so, you gotta have that before you go to camp, right? And so, let's go to Raising Canes. I said no, and then Logan chimes in and says, "No, we're going to Chick-fil-A. I want to see Jacob." And I was like, "Logan wants to see Jacob?" And I was just like, "Oh,
Wow.
it just melted my
Wow.
heart. It melted my heart."
Cut it off.
Man, but
That's good.
camp was, for our students, it was really like we had at least 3 commit their life to Christ and 2 surrender to the ministry, and just overcoming. I mean, the theme of the week was, Matthew 6, 25 through the end of the
yeah.
chapter, and camp pastor just said, "Don't be anxious," right?
Yeah.
Y'all just stop worrying, stop stressing, and like night 1, you can't do that night 1, can you?
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah, we had 1, maybe 2. We haven't really discussed the other one, but that gave their life to Jesus. And we had one
Yeah.
after camp feel the calling to ministry. So
mm,
it was a good week.
Ooh.
amen.
Caleb.
Amen.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we have a group chat called Tabernacle, and he's like,
Can I be an honorary Tabernacle member?
guys only.
I don't think so. Like I'm not
I want
in
to
it,
have
but
a
that's
group
just
chat with the girls.
Well, you
you
should.
can't do that.
They won't be nice to you, but yeah.
I've
So
heard it.
Caleb was like, but he's also like invested his whole life into being a firefighter.
Hmm.
Like in high school, that's all he did, and now like he's already passed his test and stuff. So he's
Wow.
he's going to go to college and do his emergency management degree plus like an undergrad of whatever he decides. So
Nice.
I think he wants to be a chaplain in the fire department.
Man, that's good stuff.
So
That's good stuff. Camp is definitely not for the weary and not for the faint of heart, and you got to have some endurance and
Mm-hmm.
all the things. I mean, I don't know what the temperatures were, but I think it was 100 every
Over
single
100
day,
every
right?
day, yeah.
it was rough.
I think I literally sweat from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed.
And you never change your shirt. And I planned out he would change it daily.
Oh, I was like, what?
But I planned out my day to change my shirt at lunch because I knew it was going to be hot.
I decided that I didn't want to do that. I just couldn't.
Well, you look pretty beat up every night. Like you were, it was like a homeless guy just walked up.
Just get out of here.
But
I actually thought you were homeless. You're not?
Oh,
It's
you
not?
did? No.
no,
Oh.
I didn't want to pack 8 shirts. So
Oh,
I didn't.
I always pack because I knew because I would spend a lot of time with the guys that were fishing, and then
Mm-hmm.
I would go back to my dorm and get ready because I led the 12th grade power groups, or breakout groups. I don't know what they call them, power group.
Breakout group.
What did Brennan
Power
call
group.
it?
Well,
Power out?
Power hour
Power hour.
for the
Hour.
and so I could get ready for that. I would leave and change my shirt, but I knew it's going to be spicy out there, and so I had to pack. And then the last day, we spent the whole morning in the pool. I was like, it's so hot, and I don't typically like community pools, especially at youth camp because you don't know what they're doing. But it was
There's those occasional warm patches.
yeah, and so we all just sat in the corner and just soaked up and surprisingly Thursday, the last like full day, was not as hot.
Mm-hmm. True.
So it worked
It's
out.
true.
But yeah, it was hot,
Mm.
and we had an unexpected visit to Lufkin, Texas,
Yeah.
at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, it was terrible.
But anyways, camp.
Well, I mean, I think there's just still so much value in camp that I don't think I would ever not recommend taking students to camp. Now, I might recommend where to go,
Yeah.
but go to camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plan to go to camp. I've even thought about, do I need to take some kids to? I mean, should I do one at the beginning of the summer? Should I do one in the middle of at the end of summer? I don't know. I know that'd be crazy, but I mean,
That's
I
a
don't know.
lot.
They've got leadership camps, right?
Yeah.
So I've kind of looked at that, got my eye on that. I've heard that the one we're really familiar with has put together a really good leadership camp, and I think it's a weekend actually.
Which one? Super Summer?
HLCCCCC.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, I've got some good feedback from this. They did it their first one this summer.
Oh.
So it's really, check this out. It's called Lead Camp. Really.
Whoa.
I'm so glad you labeled these.
Grace, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's kind of funny, and if you see this on video, this actually came in the box when I bought the soundboard, and
Oh yeah.
I just never used it. Now they're on there.
Yes, that's wonderful. It works so good.
So yeah,
I mean,
I think the best experience, like, so when we were getting ready to leave for camp, there's this like special needs like program that uses our gym every week, twice a week, that we kind of like, hey, help us out. Let's get these kids to camp, and they use their passenger van to get us there. But we quickly outgrew that. Like, I was not expecting the numbers we had to sign up for camp, so
yeah.
it was a last minute decision to rent a charter bus, which is great. It was not it was like the Spirit Airlines of charter buses. Like, it was like the phone chargers didn't work, the seats didn't match, like the side fenders were busted off. Like, it was a sketchy bus, but I think it added to the experience. And I debriefed with Kevin on Tuesday about camp, and I said, I think the best decision we made was to rent the charter bus.
Yeah.
And not because it got everybody in one vehicle, one trip. Like, it was the fact that they had to bond for 4 hours. And usually when you get to camp, it takes a couple of days for everybody to connect with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But they were forced in the 4 hours to like we played Crazy Eights for like 2 hours driving down the road. And they were it was like instantly like everybody was connected by the time we got to camp. And I think that really helped our group time, like church time, when we started like having those deep conversations and opening
That's
up.
so good. That's so good.
And I know God was working because we weren't budgeted for that, but people in the church paid for that, like donated to pay for it. And so it doesn't destroy what's left of my budget for the year. And and I'm going to write a card out to those people that donated, but it really like changed the dynamic of going into camp. And it's the first time I ever had to use a charter bus, and where everybody was in the same vehicle, because every time I've gone to camp, it's always been a small group to where we would take like 4 or 5 vehicles, or two 15 passengers, or just a 15 passenger. And I was able to sit back. I sat in the back of the bus because I, make sure there's no funny business going on back there, while all the other adults sat up front. And it was brutal for me, but I was able to watch everybody. And, on the way there, they all sat next to each other playing games. On the way back, they all slept and spread out throughout the bus and slept on the way home. But I think the bus really set the dynamic for our week.
I love that. All of those things, except for the fact that our bus driver who picked us up was out of Houston, and she drove like she was from Houston. At one point, she slammed on her brakes to catch a red light, and I'm thankful that she caught the red light, except for the fact that almost all 30 of us were thrown forward, and it was kind of like, what just happened? And she pulled out in front of an 18-wheeler at one point. I mean, it was just one of these deals where I was like, I'm so glad we're being driven home, but I feel unsafe.
Our bus driver did a U-turn in the middle of the highway.
She did.
She missed the camp entrance, and so a little further down from where the camp was, she did a U-turn right in the middle of the highway. And I was like...
Oh, I was
sweating. I was sweating,
Like-
yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it, but yeah, totally great.
Lisa,
highly
what is
recommend
this?
that.
Is that for me? Lisa,
We
come
have
say
a-
hi.
We have a special guest joining
Bring
the
it over
show.
here.
Come on
Bring it
over
over
Oh
here.
my gosh. What do we have here?
She's getting nervous.
She's nervous.
This is the famous Lisa.
Lisa.
And, got to meet Lisa at camp.
Lisa, say something in the microphone. You have to lean over, though.
Yeah. Right in the, yeah.
Say hi.
Here.
Hi there.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome, Jacob.
Lisa just came into the
It's for your
recording room
birthday.
and
His birthday's on
past,
Sunday.
oh my gosh.
Tiff treats.
Look at that. Happy birthday.
Happiest
wish I was
birthday of birthdays to you. Hope you enjoy, Lisa.
Oh, it was from Lisa.
Wow, that's nice of her.
Open it.
It's just cookies.
But you don't know what kind.
Yeah, Tiff's is pretty good though. Y'all ever had that crumble cookie?
They're still hot.
Ooh,
No.
you got to eat one right now.
Live
Crumble
on
cookie
the
is super
podcast.
good. I love crumble cookie.
Oatmeal raisin.
Oh my gosh.
That's your favorite?
Favorite cookie.
I love oatmeal raisin.
You do?
Yeah, I'm like an old woman.
I think every day I find something new that Grace and I have in common.
Yeah, we're actually
Yeah.
like a lot in common.
Like matching socks.
Has to be.
Has to be matching socks.
Has to be matching socks.
So
Because they feel different. They look different. I don't know.
I don't want to be eating on. You want a cookie?
You are, but you are though. See?
I'll get one after.
Oh. You made me eat
Was
one.
I didn't. It's your birthday.
Well, Sunday, not yet.
I didn't make
Was
you.
that- was
I
that-
said, look.
Was that Lisa's first summer camp experience?
It was.
Yeah.
It was such a pleasure to meet her. She seems like a very sweet lady.
Sometimes.
Mm.
Just kidding. No, she's great. She's our church office manager. Don't call her church secretary.
That's what she is, though.
No. There are some terms in the workplace you can't use now, Grace.
Oh.
You know you can't
My
tell
gosh.
somebody that they got fired.
I'll tell him.
You can't use that term.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. But anyways, back to camp.
Back to camp.
Man, that was a good cookie.
It's good. It's hitting.
It hit the spot. I had a cinnamon roll on my way in too, so
From where?
I don't know. My wife got up early this morning and went and got donuts. So
Nice.
I now live only 15 minutes away, not 45. So it was nice to roll up, and there was a cinnamon bun on our new kitchen.
Oh, how sweet.
Anyways, camp. Yeah, Lisa was great. She was like the grandma to everybody. Like, so we
Yeah.
would have our church discussions, and like a student would get all choked up, and she would like sneak around and give him a hug, and it was.
Oh, that's good.
But she has a CPAP machine. And so if she did something that bothered somebody, they'd be like, we're going to kink the hose to your CPAP.
That's
Oh,
what
man.
Sam, my brother, said.
He just wanted to do it to see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, but don't forget, when we were packing up to leave camp, another church accidentally grabbed her CPAP. Pat?
I don't know.
CPAP.
And she was freaking out. She was like, we can't leave this camp until we find this bag.
Well, her hearing aids chargers were in there as well. So she was like the two things that keep her alive was missing. So, but she was great and she loved it, and she's been like super grateful ever since like we got back. She's like, thank you for, because the reason she went and the reason I asked her is because we were talking about it, and she's like, I always wanted to go to camp, but no one's ever asked me. And I was like, well, Lisa, do you want to go to camp? And she was like, no, I don't want to go. I mean, I want to go, but I don't know if I can take off a week. And she made every excuse. And so I went in and talked to Kevin, and he's like, oh, she's going. So like,
wonderful.
We found people to replace her. She set up everything to automatically send out like emails that we send out weekly, and it just worked out, and she had a great time, and she was good.
That's awesome.
It's funny because when we went to ER, we had to, obviously all the dorm doors were locked.
Oh my gosh.
And so when we got back, we had to call the people, our other people that like let us in. And we called everybody but Lisa to get the Grace and this girl back into her dorm. Because we didn't think Lisa would
answer because she couldn't hear.
She couldn't hear. Plus she has a mask on her face, and so we called everybody like 5 times, and they were like, I guess we need to try to call Lisa.
She answered on the first call.
It was funny because she was
nice.
She's like, hold on. You can hear her taking her mask off. She's like, hold on. And you can hear her like taking all this stuff off, and she's the one who opened the door for them. So
that's wonderful.
She had no idea why everybody was up and moving. Of course, she couldn't hear anything because you didn't have your hearing aids in.
Yeah, I was like, Lisa, I'll tell you about it in the morning. She was freaking out. She was like, well, what? Yelling at me because she can't hear. Well, why are y'all out of the cabin? And I was like, I'll tell you in the morning. I'll tell you.
But,
well, I'm glad y'all took care of that, you know?
Yeah. And I felt bad. There's a guy named Jeff Ross. He's a student pastor out at Avenue in Ennis.
Mm-hmm.
I've known him for years. And he stopped me the next day. He's like, I saw y'all went to the hospital last night. I was like, yeah? Because someone left like 30 minutes after we did to go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, that was me. And I was like, dang. I said, are you tired? He's like, I'm tired because this is my third trip to the hospital in the middle of the night.
No way.
Yeah, because one of his kids broke a finger. Then he took another kid for something else. And then the night that we left.
Oh, my goodness.
And I feel bad for him because on the way back, after camp, they were driving back to Ennis, and their car broke down. And they were stuck in Crockett for 4 hours.
No way.
I was like, Jeff, you just couldn't catch a break this week. And he was like, yeah, but God was doing good things. I was like, and then I emailed him yesterday. I was like, so how you feeling? And he hasn't replied, but I was like, dang, he's really been through it this week.
Even his email's tired.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Very good.
But, I think one of the cool things that we experienced at camp was to see everybody worshiping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, like, people I didn't expect to see. Mm-hmm. Like Lotion or Dawson. Like just to see Dawson. Like, Dawson's been one of those students that he's been around, but he was never, like, coming every week until, like...
Oh, yeah.
Until, like, a month ago. And then he started coming, and then he was like, I want to go to camp. I'm like, okay. And he paid for camp out of his own pocket. And
wow.
All that stuff. And he was definitely in.
Is he a 7th grader?
No.
Oh, he graduated.
He just graduated.
Oh, okay. This is a different young man.
Yeah, Dawson's the tall blonde.
Oh, okay.
Looks
okay.
like the real Slim Shady.
What was the? Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that young man. What was the
tiny kid? That's Nolan.
Yes, Nolan. I thought he was Dawson.
No, that's Nolan. But
okay.
And I don't remember Clayton Tyner being as good as he was during camp. Like, we saw him at Highland Lakes when he still had dreads.
Yeah.
And I never...
The preacher?
No, the worship leader.
He had dreads?
Long dreads.
Yeah.
Like,
long.
Down to his waist.
What?
Yeah, this was like before he was even married.
Oh, yeah. I think he was actually still in school.
Yeah. And he led worship at Highland Lakes. And for
several summers. Several summers. Right there, 2008, 2009, 2010, right around there. He was at Highland Lakes, and I got to know him and got to, we were friends, and so Logan and I are sitting around the table and we're talking about, and he's just loved it and worshipped, and I said, yeah, Clayton was, he was super excited about the week, and he gave me a big old hug when worship was over, and Logan goes, wait, you know him? Like, know him? And I was like, well, yeah, Logan, I know him. He's my friend. And, well, Dad, why didn't you introduce me? I mean, what was like? But I went in during rehearsal.
Yeah.
I popped in and said hello during rehearsal. In the middle of lunch, while they were eating, I was saying hello to Clayton, and then at the end, I went and said, hey, see you later, man. And so he did an excellent job, and the team was amazing too. The lady he had singing alongside him, and then
Yeah, she was good.
Band was great, and
I enjoyed watching the piano player because of how into it she got.
Yeah.
And then it's always funny because when you're on the production side of things, you notice like certain things like happening in the band, and it always makes me laugh when crowds clap because they're not on the same beat as the band.
Yeah, no.
Right.
And so it was throwing the drummer off at least 3 times, and I saw it, and I was like, "Uh-oh, he's about to lose count, and it's going to throw the whole band off." But the piano player, or the keyboard player, and the bass player, they were all working together to keep him on track. It was really cool to see. Did you notice that?
I did not.
Oh yeah, I was. It's hard. It's hard when you're in the production side of church to not notice. Like, even while we were sitting there, I texted you in the middle of worship, and I was like, what kind of projectors do you think they were running? Because they were super, like, bright.
They were nice. They were
nice.
popping.
I was like, what do you think kind of projectors? Like, those are the things I noticed because it's, like, my job. But I also was in a worship band for several years, and I know when crowds clap, it throws you off, especially if you don't have click tracks in your ears. And I don't know if they were running click tracks, but it definitely was cool to see.
And it's funny you say that, and I literally I told the group that because we have a drummer. One of our young men is a drummer. He's an amazing drummer. And then Lance, he runs production also outside the church. Well, in the church too, but not really with the church. But he's a musician. And I just said, you sometimes you just got to take a step back from that. And for me, it's hard. It's about the third song. About the third song, I could probably worship. I can get over the fact that there's something's not spelled right or whatever the problem is. The wires were all messed up on the floor. Instead of gaff tape down. It was just. But once you get into it, but you have to get over that sometimes and just worship God, you know. And so I told the students that, like, I think Wednesday or Thursday night, it's like, just worship God. Don't pay attention. I know you're a drummer, that's your craft, but don't pay attention. Just don't focus in on that. Focus in on God. And we're just sometimes easily distracted. I'm easily just distracted as that 7th grade boy is. So
yeah. Hey Grace, what did you get out of camp?
What did I get out of camp?
Yeah.
I feel like I got a lot out of camp. I guess just like leading and being like a sponsor, like a counselor. Definitely helped me with like the relationship with all the kids. I've learned to be more patient with them. Even though I get really mad at them. And I'm like, I don't know. But I don't know. I just need to be patient with them.
Yeah, they were real testy that week.
Yeah. And then just for myself, I'm in this weird spot in my life where I went to 2 years of college. I am not going to college now. I'm taking some time off, and now I'm living back at home with my family, and I'm trying to find my way back into my faith, and it's been kind of difficult, and I'm having to letting things go, as like the way that I act, things that I do, relationship wise. Like I've had to like try to cut some things out of my life, but it's a good thing though, because I'm trying to find my way back into my faith, and God has really been working in my life lately, and like camp really helped though, because before camp I told myself, I was like, I'm going to do all these things before I go to camp, and when I'm at camp, then I'll be saved, then I'll change my ways of life, which that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what I did. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm in a really weird and difficult spot in my life, but it's also like a really good spot in my life as well. And I'm actually like looking forward to things that I'm going to be doing at the church, in my personal life. Like I need to go out and find a job so I can sustain myself, but I don't know. That's everything's going well.
Amen.
And Jacob has really helped me out lately. And his wife Amanda. So yeah.
Yeah, the growth, Grace came over for dinner, Tuesday night? And just the conversations we had around we don't have a kitchen table yet, but around the couch. It was just good. And the growth that started from when she started in June, May, June, to this point, like, it's good. And even the conversations we had at camp, I feel like things I noticed that she wasn't saying in the beginning, I noticed real fast. And like, I don't know how much you want to put out there, but the one of the things that she hated at the beginning of summer is that the fact that she had to move home. But for the first time at camp, she's like, I'm glad I moved home. And for those aspects of like where her relationship with God is, yeah, she's moved home, but it's good for her personal like relationship, and just the week by itself, I think, put our friendship on a different level. And yeah, I mean, we just had good conversations and hard conversations as well, and it was good. And
yeah, that's good.
So it was good. I enjoyed it. You about to cry?
No.
It looks like it. You got sad eyes.
You have sad eyes. I always have sad eyes.
This is my I'm tired and don't feel good eyes.
I think I don't even know what night it was, but he explained something and it really kind of made me examine some of the stresses that might be in my own life, and I had to try to release those, turn them over to the Lord, because life can be stressful, right? Life is hard, but with Jesus, it's better. And I think I stole that from one of those Bible studies at some point, but yeah, I even got to do some self-exam. Camps for the kids, but it's for the adults too.
Yeah,
and so
one of the things, so the whole thing was like anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me because I don't struggle with anxiety. I kind of just go with the flow of life. And which is, my wife is like, oh, I'm jealous of you. I'm like, yeah, but it seems like you're not sympathetic to people's situations. And I am, but I don't show it. So, but I listened, and also I had to teach about it. And, but I've been going to Piney Woods for like 10 years, and it's always been like work. And I think it was the last full night that we were in worship, and just like we talked about, like we're distracted by the production side of things, and that night I just happened not to like pay attention to like the production. I just sat back and I didn't like I didn't worship, like sing the songs or anything, but I sat there and I listened to 1,000 kids sing Gratitude, the Brandon Lake song.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is why I don't know if I've ever told that like my calling to ministry, but it started like when I knew I wanted to do student ministry is when I was at Highland Lakes, and at Highland Lakes they would ring a bell at the end of the week, and they would. And one night that me and this other guy was sitting on top of the hill, listening to the bell ring, and I was like, "That's student ministry is what I'm called to do, to keep this momentum of sharing the gospel to students." And that was when I realized that student ministry is really what I want to do. And for probably the first time since that day, I felt the same thing, just listening to students sing Gratitude. Gratitude is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah.
Brandon Lake is one of my favorite people, mainly because of his hair. But
oh yeah,
it's too long for me.
Oh, you know Brandon Lake?
Well, Lisa, I went into her office yesterday.
Was she watching Brandon Lake?
And yeah, she had it pulled up, and Jacob was like, or she said that you told her to watch this guy. And that Lisa, she then said, we need to find a guy like this for you. And I was like,
oh my goodness,
his hair's too long. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well,
because it's like as long as mine.
And it's as curly.
Yeah, I was like, no.
No, he's a good dude. And you know, God gifted him with vocals and good looks. So
yeah.
Anyways, so that's really like the one thing that and plus like the conversation, like, you know, and I said this on our church group time, in the 10 years that I've done camp as a student pastor, I never, like, I saw God working in every student that we had. And we had students like we had one girl the first night say she was like insecure about the way she looks, and we had students that, like, the high school, this was a middle school girl that said this, we had a high school girl go up to her afterwards and just talk to her, and you don't see that a whole lot. And
it was pretty cool to see, like, at the beginning of camp, it was like there was a bunch of cliques. Everybody was with their friends doing their own thing, but then at the end of the camp, it was high school girls with the middle school girls. There was some bullying going on, and they were backing each other up. And then it was the boys and girls mixing, and it wasn't just like, ew, there's a boy over there, stay away sort of thing. But they were just all bonding with each other and having fun with each other. And like on the bus ride back, they had like a 2-hour conversation with Brennan about baptism. And I was sleeping, but but I mean, when I woke up, that's what I was hearing, and it was like a couple of the girls and then pretty much all the high school boys were in this conversation. And I don't know, it's just good to hear them all talking about it. And
yeah, it was a good week.
I totally agree.
And with even last night, like we did Nerf Wars, and I wasn't gonna do Nerf Wars again because I was just like, I was actually gonna change it to like a movie night because I was just like so tired and I wanted to. But people were excited to just come, and like people that haven't, like Caleb, he never comes on Wednesday nights, but him and I didn't know this. I just thought someone dropped Caleb off, but him and Dawson picked him up, and brought him. And Dawson typically doesn't come on Wednesdays either. Yeah. And
wow.
I ended up taking out to dinner last night. We went to Dan's. We showed up at 8:50. They closed at 9.
Oh. Yeah. I didn't know that.
So we were like, they were already mopping the floors, and we were like tiptoeing around like, sorry. But just the like the students that didn't come on Wednesdays were here last night. Like, so it was cool to see that.
We had last night, first Wednesday night back from camp, we had 38 show up last night.
Wow.
And I was like,
we had a lot on vacation. Like a lot of people taking vacation this week. So, but and I didn't expect a whole lot, but we still had a good 15, 20 students.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, camp was I think overall good for me, our group.
Yeah.
Rebecca went through it though.
Oh,
man,
poor Rebecca.
Dude,
I heard she took a shower.
Well, she had to. She wasn't. Okay, I guess we need to refer to.
Okay. Yeah.
Rebecca's this yellow, and if you go to Buc-ee's, they're still on sale. But
They're still there.
yeah, it's like a summer thing that they put out, but it's a yellow sponge basically.
It looks like a giant scrub daddy.
Yeah,
The sponge.
But let's just think about this. If it weren't like a camp mascot, what would you buy it for anyway?
I don't
It's
know.
a pool float.
It's a pool float.
You sit on it, and
Really?
her face is like your backrest, and so you straddle it like a noodle,
Oh,
and so that's how you would sit on it. So yeah.
Oh,
well, I bought it last summer on our way to camp, and I was like, oh,
and named her. Y'all named her. Yeah.
we named her after a student that backed out last minute,
Yeah.
and I used it to keep track of where the students were, and it was
Which is actually
it worked perfectly.
super smart.
So we brought her back this year. Man, she was but she hangs up in the youth room during when we don't do anything. And the first time we pulled her down, she was crusty. Like she was crusty from last year, and but this was the first time that middle school girls got to experience her like out from hanging off the. We hang her off of the sprinkler pipes in the youth room. But they beat her to death. Like those teeth marks in her.
There's a bite mark in her head.
Someone went Mike Tyson.
I don't know what happened
Wild.
there.
That's a little wild.
There's footprints all over her face.
Makeup from last year. The girls put makeup on her last year.
Yes, I saw they washed that off.
There's
But
pine straw
still
in her, embedded in the head.
We were pulling it out because we made her have hair last year.
Which was funny.
Yeah.
The makeup was not, but she really went through it. Like it's like she's laying in my office right now, like curled up.
Taking a nap.
Now she has a lip piercing like Brennan.
Yeah, they wanted you should look like Brendan, and they put a lip piercing on it.
It's like a bracelet that comes apart.
Holy moly.
But
Crazies.
That thing's beat up. I don't know if it's gonna make it next year. Like
We're gonna have to start duct taping it.
Yeah, I'm afraid like the lower part of her is gonna break off because it's already like looks like a banana.
Bent.
Right.
So she's really
Well, I know Landon and Logan sure got a kick out of trying to steal Rebecca. So
yeah. The middle school girls did not.
Oh, they were coming up to me like almost in tears. They were like, "They took Rebecca. Are we gonna get it back?" And I was like, "Don't worry, I know them. Okay, I'll go get it back."
It's funny because when they took her the first time and they put it in your shower, I was like, Rebecca's only one, and they're like, we're not catching a case here, and so they gave her back.
Give her back. I looked out the door and Logan was running with it and Grace was running behind.
No,
And
I was speed walking. I did not want to run, but I was yelling at him, and I was like, "Give it back right now. Give it back."
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little entertained.
I was so mad.
I was a little entertained.
Grace is at that age where she's losing traction of her feet, and like she was playing soccer on one night, and she was just running, and she just fell, like just tripped.
Gopher hole.
Yeah, that was it.
So I played soccer for 14 years, and I was gonna go play in college too, but I've had too many concussions, and didn't want to. Yeah. But my thing when I played soccer was turn and sprint and go get the ball. And that's exactly what I was doing. My mind was ready for it, but my legs were not matching up with my mind. And my right leg just kind of felt like jello and it gave out. And I was like, what is happening? Like, and then I fell. And then that's the first time that I was like, wow, you're getting old.
I'm getting old.
Like, like whoa.
Holy moly, that's so
Yeah.
good. That is so good.
Well,
It happens.
it does happen.
It
I
does.
don't
happen.
like it. Because I used to be a stud in soccer.
Well, I can't give you advice because I tore my shoulder up playing softball. So
Slow pitch softball.
okay,
Ooh,
don't discredit the
ouch.
game.
At least he didn't do it playing Farmville. Goodness gracious.
Have you told him about my game?
No, he makes fun of me playing Farm Simulator.
Oh.
But Grace,
Wait, does Grace play? She plays Farm Simulator too? No, she does not.
I play this game called Gardenscapes, and you like win the levels to get stars and decorate your garden. But I also have a farm game. It's called Township.
she's on like level 2000.
Yeah, I just got level 2000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's
Yesterday
awesome.
during the Nerf war, Jacob thought that I was recording and like making a video. No, I was
Yeah.
playing my game.
I used to play SimCity.
Mm.
I
never
loved
played it.
SimCity. I love SimCity.
Remember
What-
at camp that did somebody bring up playing, what was that game that we used to play?
Roblox,
No.
Minecraft.
Call of Duty?
It
No.
was
It was
Clash of Clans.
Clash of Clans. He's like,
Clash of Clans.
you're not going to meet girls playing Clash of Clans, which is funny because that's exactly how I met my wife.
What?
Yeah.
He said somebody spent $3,000 on that.
That's crazy.
I'm super glad he didn't say like the abbreviation for Clash of Clans because COC.
Oh. So
She might be a worse joke teller than I am.
it's true.
No, that's what kids used to say it. They were like,
They do not.
they were like, you want to play?
No,
No.
they did not.
Yes.
I've never heard a
promise
single
you.
kid call it that.
Yes, they were like, you want to play with my?
No,
No.
no.
You're
That
lying.
is not.
I'm not lying.
We're gonna have to make this an 18 and plus show. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
Your students
This
that
is the
listen,
This is the first show we're gonna have to like restrict.
we'd have to put like beeps in it. Like beep, beep.
I didn't say anything bad.
I know, but
And she bleeped herself, but
Yeah.
tell your student that listens that he can't listen to this one.
dude, shout out to AJ.
And
I know it's
McGregor.
yeah, McGregor also. But I love AJ. Quick story about AJ. AJ wrestles in high school, and right before we went into the dining hall, I'm establishing this that he wrestles. And I said, "All right, put a move on me." Homeboy drops me. I think he picks me up, flips me on, and slams me on my back right there on the dining hall mat, right outside the doors, and he pinned me. Literally pinned me in like 3 seconds.
What?
I was so impressed, and
Did you even know what happened? Like,
No, for a second, no. Yeah, when you get a little older, you start to see stars, literal stars. I saw stars, and so it was like, I thought it was awesome. So, AJ, love you, bro, and glad you're listening. Hey, we need to make a shout out to Garrett Gardner.
Garrett Gardner Music. He's
You know, he drove up to Georgetown last week and met with Keith and made some recommendations for us. And we were like, dude, Keith was like, let me buy you some breakfast or something. And he's like, no, I got errands to run, but definitely. And then he put together this whole like paperwork of plan for us, and just love Garrett a lot. So
he helped me move. He's gonna help me hang my TV in my living room.
somebody else was supposed to help
Yeah.
him move, but didn't show up.
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have helped Jacob move before.
He did. When no one else would help me move, Jeremy came and helped.
I did help him
Oh.
move before.
But he didn't.
I don't know if I
come
got
this
enough
time.
cred. I don't know if I got enough street cred now.
Now that
I might have run out of street cred at this point, so I have
you
to help
gotta
move next
make
time.
up- yeah, well, I'm not moving. We own the house, so we're not moving anytime soon.
Not moving. Okay. Well, and then when that comes, we'll hire movers.
Yeah, that's the plan.
There you go.
So, I mean, you got anything else to add about camp?
I mean, we already said it once, but go to camp. You know, I mean, if you feel called to serve in the student ministry and you're not a pastor, but you're an adult and you can pass the background check and all that good stuff, go to camp because you should experience it. It changes lives, not only students' lives, but I think adult lives. So that's all I got.
Grace?
I don't have anything to add. I think I'm okay.
Well, yeah, camp's good. I enjoyed this year a lot more than most, even though like it just really physically sucked it out of me. But like, and I'll get back. I'll sleep before October. After October, I can't promise anything.
Then
But
you're gonna be like this for the rest of your life.
At least for 18 years until I become a grandpa. That's my.
She's not gonna have a kid at 18.
Arranged marriage.
Absolutely not.
Well, I will say this.
What?
To Sam.
You
What?
Actually,
she said to Sam.
I did. But Sam would be like 15 years older than her.
Yeah, we don't encourage that.
Yeah, never mind. I take
That's
that.
gross.
I take it back. I take it back.
Well,
I take it back.
this new labeled soundboard. You are killing it,
Thanks,
Jacob.
man. Thanks.
Maybe Sam will
killing
have a
it.
kid by then, and she can get married to Sam's kid.
Let's close in a word of prayer, and we'll
Amen.
be dismissed. Well, real quick, are you gonna join us next week, Grace? On the show?
I can.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you're the boss.
Are you gonna be here next week?
Actually, I'm the boss. Yes, I'll be here next week.
All right. So, y'all want to do it again next week?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for listening to the Youth Pastors Are Pastors Too podcast. Find us, rate us, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. If you want to see our ugly faces, look for us on YouTube. While you're at it, give us a like on Facebook. See you next week.
Bye.